everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on this episode of Why We Grow. Today, I had the opportunity to sit down and speak with Lannie from Gingerfoot Gardening, and she had a super unique backstory of actually just started growing fairly recently. And it was so much fun to sit down, talk to her, find out what inspired her to get started here recently, and hear all about the amazing things that she's doing in her garden. So I hope you all enjoy. So thank you so much for joining us today. Um,
Thank you.
so I don't know much about you at all. I know I follow you on Instagram and I love seeing all your videos and pictures. They're always so pretty. I love it.
Thank you.
But
Appreciate it.
I don't know much about your background. So what got you started gardening?
I think a lot of people can actually identify with this because it started back when the pandemic hit,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of getting overwhelmed with the news, and I have family back in the Philippines, and I feel like I was having too much worries, and I feel like actually I get to the point where I'm feeling paranoid. So I know I needed some sort of distraction and things like that. Um, I don't know. Gardening kind of just happened because like one of my friends, one time when we were walking, just to get an exercise, just to get busy instead of like being stuck at home. So we were walking in our neighborhood, and then there was this lady selling some plants, and
Mm-hmm.
she rather she was just selling it for really cheap. And at that time I was like, my question was like, if I take this plants home, will I be able to keep it alive? So that was like my question. And so I decided to take home a couple of plants just to give it a try. The next thing you know, I researching and trying to learn more about growing plants just so I could keep the like it's actually succulents that I succulents and spider plant that I took home. Yeah, so I started learning about it, and it becomes like my entertainment. So I'm not really so much into like watching movie. I can only watch a handful, but then I get tired of it.
Yeah.
So I like more of the learning things. So that's kind of how I started. And then I started getting into like gardening, and then I'm getting more excited about learning new things. So I wanted to kind of explore and kind of try other plants. So I started a few things, including one of these these patos. So one of my
It
friends
looks really pretty.
oh, thank you. So I was like, "Hey, can I get one of the couple of cuttings from your plants?" And she was like, "Sure." And then she gave me this, and then I started adding a few little things. And then one of the things that I wanted to try to grow was the vegetables that I grew up eating back in the Philippines because I was originally from the Philippines. So that's what I thought I would try. So I would say that's pretty much the beginning of it, and it kind of helped me get by and like stop worrying. It's like stop getting my mind of like the craziness of the world, because it's like we have so
Yeah.
much uncertainty that time that I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. It makes me feel so I don't know. I don't know. I probably would have some kind of depression if I keep going that route. But I would say the gardening really helped me uh, feel a lot better.
Absolutely. I think that's totally relatable. I mean, that's essentially why we started growing too and gardening and everything. It really helps with your mental health and any sort of
It
stress,
does.
anxiety, depression, all of that. Just getting outside, getting in the sun makes you drink more water because you get hot. Like
Yes.
just
Yes.
all of it combined and just
Yes. Yes, it
accessible
does.
plants and everything like that is always nice.
Yes, 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 yes. That's the and it's like and even with that so I also, because I'm getting excited, right? So I also started posting a few pictures on Facebook, and you kind of want to share the journey of growing plants.
Yeah.
And then and I feel like at some point my friends are gotta be really tired of me. Posting all these plans and things like that. So I decided to go on Instagram to start posting some of my because I feel like people can follow you or not follow if you don't feel like they don't like your post. So I and it's like along the way I started discovering that people who actually like gardening as well, and it has gotten it has made me more excited about it, more inspired to go because of that. So between like discovering new things and connecting with people, it has really gotten much exciting for me.
Oh, that's amazing. So you really just started in like 2020?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Had you grown anything before that?
Oh, I've got a lot of plans. My I would say my background when it comes to like gardening would be watching my mom grow her orchids. She loves orchids, and I think aloe vera, something like that. Those um I just watch her grow those plants. My youngest brother and my father likes growing as well, but I haven't really taken into like gardening because I feel like I'm not really good at it. I'm not very patient with nurturing them. But
Mm-hmm.
then when I came here, it's like it's quite amazing how that goes.
Wow. Yeah, it happened so fast then for you. So
Oh,
successful. That's
thank you.
amazing.
I think I just oh, thank you. I think it's also that I think it's fun for me to when I try to learn new things. I don't know. I kind of dig deeper into it. My friends would tell me that as well. They were like, once you get into something, you dig deeper into it, and
Yeah.
you're
You just
serious.
dove right in with both feet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's great. So where is it that you are gardening right now?
So I live in Maryland, Zone 7. So I would say I kind of like the weather here because it's we actually get the 4 seasons, but it's
Mhm.
not crazy. It's not it's in the winter it's not too cold, I would say, compared to other places. And in the summer it's not too hot either. So I would say the summer here is in the previous year it's been like 90, 95. I don't even remember if we had gotten to digit digits. I don't think so. Yeah, so it's pretty good. I mean, I like the weather here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we're actually in zone 7 ourselves too.
Oh, awesome. Yep.
So do you do both indoor and outdoor plants?
So I have tried indoors, but I kind of decided I like the outdoors more. Because
Hmm.
like I think I'm just having a hard time a little bit with like indoors. I have a few plants indoors, but I try to keep it in, in low numbers. I limit it because first of all, we don't really have a lot of space indoors. So I
Hmm.
do most of it outside.
Yeah.
Plus I kind of like, enjoy the fresh air outside.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and that'll help too with the stress of everything, of the whole world.
Yes, yes, it does. It does.
Yeah, just stepping outside and getting the sun. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what are some things that you're growing right now?
Mm. So from my deck, you can see I have ginger, I have strawberries, this which is one of my favorites. I have one of the citrus fruits that I grew up eating back in the Philippines. We call it calamansi. It's a citrus fruit that is it's like a cross between lemon and lime, but it's
Oh,
more on the it's more I think it's more popular here as calamondine.
I've
But yeah,
never heard of
I
that
still
one.
haven't. Oh wow,
Interesting.
it's yeah. So I mean I really can't grow it in the ground because of the weather here.
Mhm.
So I put it in a pot, and I started it from seed. So I know it's gonna be a long time for me to see fruits from it. But I mean, just the fact that I have something growing that I grew up eating or using in the Philippines is
That's
it's cool to me.
amazing.
So I
So
have
how do
that.
you eat that? What?
So we use that for to make it's almost like lemonade, but it's more like juice.
Okay.
And we use it in a place of lemon. It has a different taste, but it's kind of like a similar use.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds
Hmm.
great. I feel like I want
Yeah.
to try this out now.
Yeah, yeah, well, that's how it goes, right? Like we see one plant from another person and we were like, oh my goodness, I want that. I actually wanted one. I saw one variety of lemon, the variegated pink lemonade. I'm like, oh, I wanted one of those.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So I have more,
So,
honestly.
yeah.
I have beans. I have recently I have grown pumpkin as well, and I have learned from actually growing that because I didn't even I think I have looked it up when I was buying the seeds, and I've just recently found out that so there's semi bush and uh compact variety which worked well for my space. So I mean they were tiny. I have like little ones in here right.
Oh, I love
They're
it.
so tiny,
Those
it's
ones
so
are
cute.
great.
But yeah, but I'm like, I never thought I would have been able to grow pumpkin. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
So have you
Yeah,
felt
so
that gardening has helped with your stress and anxiety?
oh oh yes, totally, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. Like even now we're going through family trial right now, and it does help me feel, get my mind off of that. But yeah, it really does help in many
Yeah,
ways.
absolutely. Good for distractions too.
Yes, yes,
And there's a lot of food you can grow too that that could help relieve anxiety if
yes,
you eat it too.
yes, yes, yes. Even I find that I do love cooking as well. So that gardening, growing your own food really helps with that. So it's like I think the way I've been trained by my mom is to like make food based on what you have. So it kind of I kind of have training from from since I was younger that I could like whatever I can find from the garden, I can make food of it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
So what are your favorite things to make from the garden?
Well, I would say stir fry is one of them, and
Oh yeah.
I cook more like I wouldn't say it's like Filipino food because I it's like a mixture. I always kind of combine it with like the Western influence of cooking. So I kind of combine both. So it's not usually a traditional Filipino food. So which I think actually works well because of my husband is from here, so it's not used to. I can't feed him pure Asian food.
Oh, I don't know. I would love that.
Aw.
My favorite kind of food. Oh, so good.
Oh wow, really? That's cool.
Ah, amazing. Now you're making me wanna go eat. Making me hungry. Yeah, we love
Aw.
doing stir fries and things like that from the garden because you
Mhm.
can really pull so many things from there and just mix and match and yeah, it's amazing. And things that
Yeah,
I
and
really thought about. Even so, we had a really bad hailstorm one time and a lot of our broccoli plants were destroyed.
mhm,
So we were Googling, like trying to figure out what to do with them. And we
mhm, mhm,
realized you can actually stir fry like the stalks of them and leaves and all that. And oh, it was tasted amazing.
mhm, mhm. Yeah. And it's actually funny. Like, I remember before, like, I have one friend who would say, like, "Oh, once you get a taste of homegrown tomatoes, you're not coming back." And
Yeah,
it's like,
it's so true.
okay, yeah. And now that I'm tasting it, it's like it is really true because it's I remember with tomatoes. Like, I recently made something. I made more like stir fried egg. Bitter melon, and I used the tomatoes. I mean, I don't really have a lot of like Roma tomato. For some reason, I didn't really grow them this year. So I used the beefsteak tomato, and it was like, oh my goodness, the taste of you can taste the sweetness of the tomato.
Yeah.
It tastes amazing. I was like,
It's so much
that
different
is
than the like
definitely true.
watered down version I feel like you get from the grocery
Yes,
store.
yes, yes. So that's why I'm always going tomato if I can. And the funny thing is like I told myself the first year I grew tomato. I don't know. Before I started growing seriously, I was like, I'm not growing tomato because they look crazy. But I got hooked. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
always gonna be growing tomato.
Yeah, yeah. So what are your favorite things to grow out there?
Ah, Right now, I would say I could add tomato as one of them. Man, that's actually a tough question.
Oh, I know, right? There's so many good things.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I would say one of them is the zucchini, but yeah, for some reason it's harder to grow
I
zucchini. I
yeah.
think you know that
I
because of
love growing
the
zucchini though. Yeah.
yeah. So that's one of them. But actually, one thing I want to share is that there was one variety that at first I actually almost wanted to cut it because it was like it's so stunted and it's not doing well, but then I gave it like whatever, I just let it go, and it started growing pretty well, and when the rest of the zucchini died because of the vine borer,
Hmm.
that variety still kept growing. So that was, I don't know if you're familiar with what's that one, lemon squash.
You know what? Well, I've seen lemon cucumbers before. We've done that, but I don't think
But
we've done a
so
lot. Just hmm.
lemon squash is one of them now, and it's pretty good. It has done pretty well here. Like I think, and I've read other influencers say something about it too. It was like that's
Interesting.
pretty cool actually. Yeah.
So how does
So
it
I'm gonna
taste?
be growing that. It's just the same as the regular zucchini, but they're smaller. It's like half the size or like maybe a third of a size. It doesn't grow so big, but it's a good size for like, especially if you're just, if for me and my husband, it's good enough. Like for one meal,
Yeah.
having one is good enough.
So is it more resistant to the squash vine
Yeah,
borer?
I would
Okay,
say
so does it
so.
have more of the solid stem? Because I know there's some varieties that have like the solid stem.
Yeah, it has a more solid stem. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll definitely need to check that out because we get so many
Mm-hmm.
squash vine
Yeah.
borers and squash bugs. All yeah. So anything we
Yeah.
can do to help with those nasty squash vine borers is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Do I have another favorite? Right now, I would say ginger is another favorite of mine.
Oh, that's amazing. I have never grown ginger. I've always wanted to. Always wanted to. So
So
that's incredible. So you grow it in pots and then have the roots? Like I don't know much about it.
so with ginger, I started it in February. I've only I used like a couple of like um rhizomes with what do you call that, with buds already coming out. So
Mm-hmm.
I cut it and let it kind of like heal, and then I put it in like in a half a gallon container to start to get a head start. And so when I think when the last frost was over, when it's safe to plant, I had divided the plant, and now it's like I have two ginormous um plants. So
Wow.
I initially planted it in a dish plant planters. I know not a lot of people do use that dish plant planter because it's usually used for for dishes. But I kind of just put holes, drilled holes on those, and use them as planters. And I like them because it's shallow. So with ginger, it's it spreads wide instead of going down like unlike other rooting vegetables. So that's why I decided to use a wider pan. But
Yeah.
now I actually transplanted it in a 10-gallon tote so they could have more space because it was like drying out so fast. And I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah. But I'm excited to harvest.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait. I'm gonna have to follow your channel and make sure that I pay attention whenever the time comes for the ginger harvesting. I'll
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
live vicariously through you.
Ah.
That sounds amazing.
Thank you.
So what are you going to use the ginger for?
So I'm planning to freeze most of them, and I think I'm gonna give out some of them with to a couple of my friends who I know would use them as well. Yeah. So my husband was like, "We're gonna have factor of we're gonna have a lot."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
amazing that you get so much from just a couple different
yeah.
starts. That's great.
Yeah, I would say I started with just like a cup full of like rhizome, something like that. It's not a whole lot, and then now if I look at the plant, I'm like, oh, how I wonder how much I'm gonna get this time.
So, while we're speaking of social media, which social medias are you on? I know you're on Instagram for sure.
Yeah, it's actually my major, I would say.
Yeah.
I fell in love with Instagram, and I feel like my energy is not the same as the same with other channels. So, but I am on TikTok and also on YouTube, but I haven't really posted much on there. I should.
And is that all at Gingerfoot Garden?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes. Yeah.
great. Yeah, that's awesome. I'll have
Thank
to
you.
make sure that we follow you on the other ones too. I'm not sure if we are.
I think I try to follow, yeah, the the people that I work with on all the platforms. Are you guys on TikTok?
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
we are.
we
Yeah,
got I gotta
we
follow
just
you guys
started
too.
fairly recently though, so it hasn't been
I
very
see.
long. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's same with me. I was hesitant, but I think when it comes to that, I think it's better to concentrate on one instead of like putting all your energy in like every little things. And once the other one get established, it's okay to you know explore.
so where did your name come from? That
Uh, that is a funny question, but yeah. So my husband was actually the one who gave me that name. So like around fall, when I was like starting to do fall gardening, and I think I was transplanting some seedlings to a bigger container. My husband was taking picture of me, and I was like, "Don't take picture of my foot," because it's like I don't like the look of my foot, and it was like it's a ginger foot because like it's it's like in the Philippines, it's more like derogatory thing to say that if you have an ugly feet, you have like a ginger foot, and and then my husband had said like, oh, so yeah, Gingerfoot, and he was like, you know what, that has a sound, has a cute sound. And I was like, you know what, that's
it
actually
does.
really
It's
cute. I'm
yeah.
gonna use that one.
I know. I love it.
So I
I
said,
think it's great. And I
yeah,
think
it's
it fits perfect, especially since you're growing ginger right now and it
yeah,
works
yeah,
out great.
yeah. But the funny thing is that is I've tried it like 3 times, but this one is actually the time I was able to get the perfect timing. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's how it started. It's something derogatory, honestly, but it sounded cute in English.
Well, that's great that you took something negative then and made it a really good positive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that is
so
amazing.
some people are actually calling me Ginger. So I said I guess I have a new nickname now, Ginger. I'll take it.
That's funny. Yeah, 'cause that would make sense if your name was Ginger too.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Here. So, do you have any tips for somebody who may be just starting out gardening and where you were in 2020?
I would say the first one would be start small because I think I started that way as well. Like by starting small, you don't get so overwhelmed. Like if you let's say if you wanted to grow herbs, like say, let's say parsley, it's better to start learning like how to take care of one first before like exploring to a bigger things. And then later on, once you master that one plant, you'll be able to explore more and grow the other things and be successful. Because I think like it's like when you can see a reward from one, you'll be more encouraged to grow a lot more.
Yeah.
So that would be one tip. And think to me, honestly, another one that I would say is like kind of surround yourself with people who think just like you. So if you want to learn more about plants, talk to people or connect with people that loves plants as well, because they can help you along the way. You can ask questions and just learn from, even from, to me, that's why I like the Instagram community, because you can connect easily with people.
Yeah.
It's just amazing, the inspiration. Even with me, I have people in my the similar zone that I follow, because it's like when they started putting their plants in, I'm like, oh, okay, it's time for me to put my plants in
It's a nice
no.
reminder, right?
Yes, it's a nice reminder, because and it's like it they give you a different perspective that like people from other zones will not be able to understand, like
Mhm.
whatever weather you have, things like that. It's just good. What else? I think I would say those are the two major things.
Yeah, that's great
Sorry.
advice. Yeah, I know our first year gardening, I mean, we started out small with like 2 boxes and then
Mm-hmm.
raised beds and we started just growing a few things. But then the next year we definitely went all out and did a whole bunch,
Mm-hmm.
probably more than we really should have. But yeah.
I would say first year I'm kind of like that too. Because I
Yeah.
started I started in the fall, and I would say it was actually a pretty easy time. Well, I would say I kind of started getting more interested like around summertime, but it's like it's midsummer already, and it's like all the gardening stuff are almost gone, so I can't even really start officially. So I started in the fall, and to me that was a lot easier because there's less pest, and
Yeah, absolutely.
um I would say the weather was still challenging for me, because, like, growing up in the tropics, I've only known like how to grow plants in the warm weather. So
Mhm.
that was a challenge for me. But I kind of challenged myself as well to, learn new methods. And so another thing I would say too is like grow plants that goes well with the weather. Like I find that like a lot of summer plants, even though you try to bring them inside the house, they just don't do too well.
Yeah.
So growing according to the weather, to the season, is one of the best way to go instead of against it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That's all great
Hmm.
advice.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I agree. Like we've tried to grow a lot of things, like bringing them in and out, like lemon, lime trees. We do
Hmm.
struggle with that too. And then we tend to forget that we left them outside and then they get froze. Yeah, we've had so
Hmm.
many different failures with it, but we're still going strong, still trying, and
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
hopefully,
I'm with
hopefully
you.
it'll go good.
I, I'm with you, because I'm gonna try that with my calamansi, and I've done that actually. I kept it outside, but I had put like C9 lights in the greenhouse,
Oh,
and
great. Yeah.
and I put a lot of insulation in like around the pots, so to protect the roots. Actually, hopefully, I did not damage it at all, because I kind of was like I should have just brought it inside the house, but I was kind of hesitant because I've had like issues with aphids in the past as well. So I'm like, I really don't want to bring
Mhm.
plants from outside to inside, but I'm gonna try it this year again. I'm gonna bring it inside instead of like keeping it in the greenhouse.
Well, I'm super excited. I can't wait to see how that goes too.
Thank you.
Well, awesome. Is there anything that you would like to share? Any thing for new people watching
Um,
you?
well, so I think one of the things that what I don't even know if it's a quotation, but one of the things I've always said before is like learn as you grow. So you learn best by doing it yourself. And it's like you can watch all the videos and watch other people do it, but there's nothing like just doing it yourself. Like, and I said, by starting small, you learn as you grow, and then you learn more and more after that, and then you're gonna be hooked.
Absolutely. It's so true too. Like once you grow one thing, you're like, "Ooh, I want to try this variety of it too."
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it explodes from there. So
Yep.
many different things. That's kind of what happened to us. And
Hmm.
Dale, like he wanted to have like literally every single variety of herb and like wanted to try everything. And now I'm just as bad as he is. And it's really bad if we go to the nursery. We walk out with way too much.
Oh my goodness. I'm like
Yeah.
that with seeds. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Way too much. I feel like I've collected all the varieties of kale.
Yes.
That was my thing before. I was good.
That's
But
funny.
it's fun. But it's fun.
Yeah, we do go crazy whenever we seed shop. We love those.
And I can't imagine it for you and Dale.
Yeah, we
With
have the
me,
goal right now to grow like every single variety that Park Seed carries because we want to say we've grown everything and tried it all.
yes.
And so we know what's the best, what works really good here. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so we've
Mm-hmm.
definitely been growing and
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot.
Yes. The one that I got from them that I love so much was the sun gold tomato because I've been looking for that like everywhere else, and then I was like, oh yes, Spicy carries them, and I just love it. That so far it's my favorite cherry tomatoes. I'd say it's
Oh, that's
just so sweet,
awesome.
so delicious. Yep.
Great. Yeah, I have a lot of favorites right now.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, and we're growing a lot right now too, because I agree with you too on fall. Fall is like the best time to really get
Hmm.
started growing because it's
Hmm.
the easiest, really.
Yeah, yeah, and I also want to mention that I have one friend that asked me like, hey, I want to start my garden in the spring. I'm gonna talk to you about it, something like that. And it was like, you know what? Actually, the best time to get started is in the fall, because like when
Hmm.
you start, like if you want to do either container or raised bed, if you want to get started on planting, it's good when the soil organism are already like getting established, and it's just better for like practice, I would say. And like I said, with the soil, to me it's better to get started in the fall instead of waiting till spring.
Yeah, and like you said too, less pests
Yes,
issues. Yeah, it's
yes,
it's amazing. It cooler temperatures and like yeah, you'll
more
want to be out in the
comfortable.
garden more.
Yep, yes, totally, totally.
Yep. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This was
Mm,
really fun.
no problem.
And,
It's my pleasure. Thank you so
yeah, and I'm
much.
definitely going to be making sure that I pay attention because I want to your Instagram because I want to make sure that I see how you are harvesting that ginger. I'm excited
Yay.
for you. That'll be
Yeah.
amazing. Hopefully, it'll
Yay. Thank
inspire me
you.
to grow some too.
Sounds good. It's pretty easy, honestly. I would say it's one of the easiest thing you can grow because you just set it up. Just to me, just learning the timing, and then once you get it started, you're good to go. They don't really
Awesome.
pests hardly ever touch them, so it's just
Awesome.
patience. The
That's
patience when it
what
comes
I
to
need.
waiting.
What I need.
Hmm.
Well, I love it. Well, you've inspired me to go give it a try. I will definitely give
Awesome.
So thank you so much for joining us. And again, it's at Gingerfoot Gardening
Yes,
on
Gingerfoot Garden,
Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, right?
TikTok.
All those. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate it.
Bye.